Hey kids, Inverted Cow here. Welcome back to Space Haven. Picking it up kind of shortly just after where we left off last episode. As you can see, I still have happy little guys working the little mining pods to collect the ice. They have almost completely stripped this craft. Actually, I think they have now completely stripped this craft. It still shows up as a derelict. It still shows up as a thing. But if you check, salvages will all now say none. And transfers will have nothing in it. Sometimes there'll be scrap or other things that have shown up. I don't know if there's a use for that yet. But I pick it up and I just sell it off to traders. Now, about traders. They're still working on this. They have hauled material over here, but nobody has come over to work on it. So we're just going to let this run. Now we have the star map. This moves, as you scroll out, you move out to the sector of space that you're in. At the top of the sector, you will see one of these. If you bring up the legend, these are hyperlanes. If you go out a little bit further, hyperlanes connect to the galaxy. You've got lots of game potential here to explore. We're only here, just this one little tiny sector. Now, let's have a look at what is in this sector. So as you can see, we have, as it has eliminated all of the different things, your icons have disappeared. I originally had all your base materials, your ice, base metals, nobles, carbon, and some raw chemicals. The only thing I didn't have was hyperium and energiurium, but that's no big deal. Now in the next area, next planet area, we have a derelict ship. We have a bit of base metals over there. Base metals, you'll find it's really, after a while, it's not even something you bother mining, or you'll just mine it just simply for trade. Same with the nobles. There's another derelict ship there. Derelict ships are our #1 resource for usable materials because everything's already refined. It just has to be recovered. We'll want that hyperium for hyperspace travel. That ice, we will definitely want that. So this is a sector we definitely want to go to because it has a derelict and it has ice and hyperspace fuel. This sector is kind of useless. This one has some ice in it. We'll pick that up. This has some carbon. Carbon is usable for plants, but realistically, I trade it. I find it's a very valuable trade commodity more than anything. Other things we have. We have a hostile pirate faction, -81. These guys are not exactly friendly with us. I don't know if you can become friendly with the pirates. I don't really care because, as far as I look at them, pirates are a resource to be harvested. All these ships will float around space all over the place. Oops. So we have one pirate. We have civilians. We have military alliance, 2 military alliance ships, a slavers guild, and a merchant federation ship. Okay, in this area. These ships, I don't believe, actually travel the hyperlanes. They just hang out in this one area. So they're always here, and they always just wander around aimlessly, and eventually they will poke in and out of this sector. I don't know if the pirate will. I have only ever encountered the pirates in my sector once, so they're not as frequent. The pirates tend to play around in the middle planets. Also, these rings, the closer you get to the sun, the better solar panels work at. We'll talk about power at a later point, but solar panels can be really useful, especially if you have a sector like this where you've got a lot of resource and nothing else. Now, the one thing that we're not seeing in this area is energium. This is the material needed to build your fuel rods. These things here. Without fuel rods, you're basically stuck. Believe it or not, your ship can and will run out of gas. So if you loiter too long, yeah, you can run out of fuel and you won't move. And it's nothing more frustrating than that slow and pain-filled death of watching yourself slowly starve or suffocate because you have no fuel to power your craft and you're not able to do anything. We've experienced this. This is not good. Okay, so that's the resource, number one resource we have to be watchful for. Now, as you can see, they have completely harvested everything except for the little bit of ice over here, and they're working on that. So we're just going to let the game run at high speed, and we'll pick it up once they actually get something accomplished. Okay, we now finally have the airlocks built. And as you noticed, when the airlock was built, the shuttle moved away to the little temporary platform. Now, the first thing I'm going to build in here is docking places for all of these ships. Now, there's 5 ships on the station, the starter ships that are on the station that you start with, 4 these little minor pods, and 1 shuttle. So we're going to do the same over here. We're just going to cram in a shuttle and 4 mining pods. Now, the reason for this is as soon as you leave this area, you can't, well, you can come back, but you can't really do anything with it. There's no resource that you can come and harvest or take or anything like that. Now, we're going to put these in fairly tight, and I think this is the better alignment. It forces you to keep squares around it, but you can put wall-mounted things along on those white squares. And the shuttle is one of the number one things that I will use. The pod hangers, they're a 3 by 4 size. So if we rotate those and we shove them up against the walls here, 1, 2, I think I can put, oh, I can't build it like that. Okay, hold on, right click on that, and just delete that one. This guy here, we're just going to move it, and we'll rotate. Like that. And that's ship, and that's airlock, and that's pod hangers. Okay, and flip around back to back. They faced each other. And then we'll go down to ship, hull, and activate sketch. Now we're going to add another section of hull in here. So start that, and I'm going to activate a section over here. I'm going to build hull. Now you can see where there's a walkway, a potential walkway right here. So what we'll do is on that square, we're going to have a wall on either side. Just activate this sketch back. One more thing, so we have a hallway. Now I'll let them build this, and then we'll move towards our next set of upgrades. Okay, as you can see, I have one person over here. They're working in the dark because there's no power on this station or the ship, and doing their thing, and they've built all of the hull blocks. Now we're just going to bring up our build menu. We'll go ship and we'll go systems. The number one thing you're going to want is the hyperdrive. Now the thing with the hyperdrive is they have a mass limit. Now if you look here, you'll see what your ship's current mass is and its limit. Its current limit is 0. So we put one of these in, and again I try and shove it in as tight as I can here because space is a premium. And we'll see that that built. To order a second one, I need to bring the hull out. It looks like two, possibly 3 more blocks. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to ship, hull, activate sketch, and we're going to come out 2 more blocks, maybe 3. As you can see, they're building. They still have lots of hull blocks in inventory. If you come over here, there's still hull blocks in inventory. They're obviously using them up, but they're still producing more. Where our factory is here, there's probably somebody working on the recycler as we speak. I also, on the first video I forgot to show this, but set your water as well. So this melts ice into water, or refines ice into water. I set it to do F water under 5. Keep that in mind. Now, they have built all of my hangars for my various craft. So we're going to run this back down to a slow speed here, and we're going to put in a few more things. Now first, ship, and it's under wall, but you look for the doors. There's basically there's 2 models of a door. They're all called the same thing, but that's okay. And then in that little passageway, I'll put a doorway in. The other thing I want to do is I want to grab a section of wall. Now you can change your wall visibility with this first tab, as well as whether or not you can see the top of your hull. I usually keep it down all the way because I need to see what I'm doing. So we're going to grab just this wall here. Now remember, there's 1 square here behind, and I want to keep a little bit of walk space around these things. So we're going to go 1 square back, and we're just going to build a wall right there. And then we're going to grab our door and up in the middle, right there. Now the reason for that is this area here will start becoming the crew quarters, the crew facilities, if you will. So what we're going to do is we're going to click over to crew now, and we're going to go to life support. The first thing we want to put in is a thermal regulator. Because they will spend a lot of their time in this room transferring goods, we're going to find our rotate button here, and we're going to throw one of these thermal regulators on the wall here and here. Another thing we will need, now this is under furniture, but we'll need lights. I'll put a light here, there, And I can't put one on this wall until this wall's built. So I can't build this until that wall's built. But I can put one here. Now that should light this area up fairly well. It won't be very good. There'll be a bit of a dark spot in this corner here. I'm not too worried about it because honestly, they're coming in and out of this door only to go to the hyperdrive engines. So that is that. Now the next thing, because this is crew quarters, crew containment, first thing we're going to do is we're going to come up to life support and we're going to grab ourselves that oxygen generator. We're going to slap that down right there, and beside it we're going to put in, actually we're not going to put in gas scrubber. I'm going to try something slightly different this time. I am going to put in a thermal regulator in here on either side. The air vents are needed to go through walls, but doors act as air vents as well. So with this door, this air oxygen producer will produce air for this room. So we're going to put, maybe I should put a gas scrubber in here. Do I have space in here for one? Because I'm pretty sure I've taken all of the spaces out of this one. Oh, okay, I do. I've got space right here for one. This is on this side of the wall. There. That should remove all the gas in this area. Now we're going to go to production and under food, and we're going to just grab the two plot size bed. The different grow beds use different amounts of resources. I don't know why the 2 plot one and the 1 plot one. Yeah, oh, it's 1 square, 1 block, and a few tools different. Okay. And then there's the 5 plot one. This one is really nice, but as you can see, it's big. This one is smaller, and this one is only 2 squares. But we're going to grab the 3 square one, and we're going to slap that down right there. Now these take CO2 from a room and turn it into oxygen. So the plants in this room will always have a small amount of, produce a small amount of oxygen for the room itself. Again, we'll go to crew, furniture. We're going to put in a wall light. We need a light right here, and I want a light over here as well. Okay. Now we go to facilities, and there's a kitchen, jukebox, arcade machine, and a toilet. They are pretty much basically as they sound. So we're going to grab that kitchen. Right, there's the plants. Oh, it's the thermal. Yeah, the thermal regulator right there. So we're just going to slap the kitchen basically down right in the middle of the room here. Right there. It's got a light shining on it that way. Ship. And we're going to just put a wall in behind the kitchen. Like that. And we'll go to hull. And we'll activate a little bit more of this sketch. I think I need to expand this a little bit more as well. Okay. And then we'll go back to production. And power. Now right now I have no power production happening yet. That will change once I get a little bit more of this ship built over here. But what we're going to do is we're going to slap down a couple of wall nodes. Now this area that you see that they have around them, that's how much surface they cover. You can have the floor nodes, which are the same kind of deal, and they work really well to cover a whole section of the ship. At a time. Unfortunately, there are areas where you can't place them, like that one white space around the thing. Now, I'm going to put this one here between these two units. Now, that green line shows where you can connect it to, so I'm going to put another one here, which has a little bit of overlap with this guy here. Like this guy's there, and this guy's overlapping slightly. And we'll put one more. Here before we go into this room. And we're going to put a wall node on the wall here, I believe. Why can't I build there? What do I have there that I can't build in? Oh, that's where the scrubber is. Light, heater, node. I'm going to put that other one over there. That gives me a kind of redundancy on both sides of this room. This is the most important room to keep alive. Because this is where your crew, this room is where my crew is stationed. This is where they're going to spend a large portion of their life. And this is where they will slowly suffocate and die. So we need to keep that room functional. Another place I'm going to need a power node is down in the warp room. Again, here I'm just going to put a wall node 1 in. And the only other thing I'm going to put down in here for now is crew furniture. I'm going to put a wall light down here. I could put in thermal regulators and the gas scrubbers and all of this kind of jazz, but really there isn't a lot of use in this room. I don't even know if they actually have to go in this room to fuel or energize these the warp or the hyperdrive engines. So honestly, this door might be used more to just ferry goods from here to a storage room. More than likely, that's all that door is going to be used for. If I really wanted to, I could probably even wall this off. Wall this off right here, just behind these engines. Actually, I might just do that. I'm going to move this node down. Here, and we're going to move this light down here 1 block, and then we're going to put that wall in. Ship wall. I'm just going to go above that light and straight over. I think that leaves 1 square of space above, so we can just put in a single door. Put a single door in there. Essentially this room, and once I bring up Hull again here, you can see what I'm talking about. But essentially this room will house 3 of these hyperdrive engines, and that's basically all this room will have in it. It doesn't really need to be climate controlled. It doesn't need environmental controls. It doesn't need crew comforts or creature comforts in any real way, shape, or form. It's basically, this is an engineering room. Put your damn hazmat suit on if you want to. Go in there and work. But I'm pretty sure they don't actually have anything that they have to do in there. So realistically, I'm not putting a I'm not putting thermal regulators in there. I'm not putting the gas scrubbers, the oxygen, all that stuff. That's all irrelevant. And I'll probably do is when this is built, I will actually close this vent so there's no oxygen in this room. There's no need for oxygen in that room. I tried to seal sections of the ship off. This area here will become storage. Basically, storage, I want it close to these airlocks because they're constantly ferrying goods back and forth, but it also means that I'm going to have power supplies and stuff in here as well. But it'll basically be storage and then power supplies. So we are progressing forward here, and we're just going to let this build again for a little while, and we'll see where we're at. Now, we are running fairly well on resources. We haven't started to run out of food yet, although processed food is down a little. Yeah, we're still fairly good. Now, what happened to the credits that I picked up? I was positive I picked up credits on one of these, on that hull. Well, maybe not. Sometimes you pick up credits on these ships. It's little space credits. It's kind of helpful. It's not much. It's a few pennies here and there, but they all add up. Now, as you can see now, we are currently up to 2,000. Oh, that's Norma. Norma is over 2,500. Now, I've got to rename this damn thing because I need to remember what this is. This is the start base. Once you leave this base, it's see you later, sayonara, goodbye, adios. There's nothing else to it. Now you are slowly building stuff and things here. Nikki, quit having accidents. Now, I won't order anything in this plant bed yet. Because the ship hasn't even gotten power going, but I will once I start getting ready to move the crew over here.